Hello, welcome to another Album of Record podcast. I am your miserable host, Craig. There's 4 inches of snow on the ground, covering all the leaves. Now more leaves are falling off the trees on top of the snow. It's cold. My feet get wet every time I walk outside. I hate everything. How's it going, Andrew?
It's going a lot better in Columbus. We don't have, we had like a little bit of snow on the ground, but not even a quarter of an inch.
Seasonal depression is my name. Here I am. I just
I I'm not a seasonal depression guy. I don't mind. Like I don't enjoy being like cold, but like if I'm in my house, I'm in my hoodie, I'm all good.
My problem is that I've started to lean into it, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I have these dreams about winning the Mega Millions, and then September, October rolls around in Ohio, and I go south. I go to somewhere in the southern hemisphere where it's summertime,
Hmm.
and I don't come back until April, maybe May, depending on the year. And I just
That's
miss.
fascinating.
I just want to
I
follow. I
think
want to follow summer.
See, I think that would give me seasonal depression. I'm one of those people who likes the changing of the seasons and the variety. I don't think I'm not really a summer person in general. So
Oh.
if I could follow fall or spring around, I think I'd be good with that more so than summer. But
Well, you're
I
gonna
don't
have
like
to
being hot.
experience some seasons no matter what you do. But I want to be hot. I want to be
Okay.
near a swimming pool or an ocean or some other body of water. And I no longer have any patience for snow, snowy weather, winter, or anything of the sort.
I I have I have this theory that maybe it's a introvert extrovert thing because you are very extroverted, and I think extroverts like summer, whereas introverts can be a lot more cool with winter because everybody just hunkers down, and so like hunkering down, like I'm cool with. You know, I think we've talked about this before. Selfishly, I've always said like I kind of thrived in COVID a little bit. Like it wasn't that big of a deal to me to
And actually,
have
that
an
was my
excuse.
wife. So I have two different personalities living in the house. The other thing that I think is interesting is that I used to be introverted and I changed somewhere probably
Oh,
around 15 years ago. I don't know how, why, exactly what happened, but I'm different now. I very
do you
much
think?
didn't like
Can I
hanging out with people. Go ahead.
can I propose a theory
Absolutely.
that as you became more active in ownership of your business, it just requires you to talk to a lot of different people, and that perhaps that changed your outlook on people. It sort of forced you to be extroverted in a way you weren't before.
I'm sure that's part of it. I think my kids getting older and just having to meet other families was part of it. And I also think, my health kick where I started becoming a runner and just going to all those races was a big part of it too. Because I would go to all those races by myself, but then you start to see the same faces at every one.
Okay.
So it's like I think I accidentally joined a few different communities just
Yeah.
based on my lifestyle.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
But
So this has been the armchair psychology portion of the
yeah,
podcast.
I'll talk about it with my therapist tomorrow, and I'll let you know what they say. So,
There we go. That's on next week's episode.
right, yeah. Um, the psychiatry minute on the album of
Yeah,
record.
that's right.
So we've got some news items off the top. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, the Grammy nominations, and then you and I wanted to spend some time talking about the relaunch of Stereogum and some of the founders' quotes about how AI has murdered the website or murdered their advertising revenue. So
Hmm.
we'll read some snippets from his Scott's words, his column, and talk about that a little bit. But first, let's talk about some of the news items in the zeitgeist this week.
All right.
Um, the Red Hot Chili Peppers sold their masters or are selling their masters. It's rumored to be somewhere between 300 and 350 million dollars that they're getting to sell the masters for all of their recordings.
Yeah, I mean the snarky response to that, of course, is why would anybody buy that catalog, right? But I mean, look, they're a massively popular band, and
a legacy band at this point.
Yeah, and like as easy as it is to pick on them, Red Hot Chili Peppers have some incredible music. Like, don't get me, never misunderstand when we're being tongue in cheek snarky about them. Like, I mean, Blood Sugar Sex Magic is an incredible album, beginning to end. You know, Californication's a really good album. You and I both have an appreciation even for One Hot Minute. I think we might have even done an episode in our earlier days, I think maybe about One Hot Minute. But that's an album that, you know, we like. So like there's a good chunk of their catalog that I really vibe with and enjoy. But I just, you know, their modern output doesn't do as much for me. But it's interesting in a time, you know, when Taylor Swift so famously fought so hard to get control of her music back, that Red Hot Chili Peppers are like, cool, no man, we'll sell it.
Yeah, and they have their top 6 songs are over 1 billion streams on Spotify. Their seventh biggest is 934 million streams. If you had to guess, go ahead. What do you think the top streaming song is for the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
I was just going to say, I wonder what it is. Is it Under the Bridge?
Under the Bridge is number 1.
Okay.
So the real question is, oh no, I take it back. Under the Bridge is number 2.
Oh, okay. Give It Away? Nope.
Not even in the top 10.
Wow. Let me think about this for a second. Is it older than Blood Sugar Sex Magic? Is it predate? Okay. Is it on Blood Sugar Sex Magic?
I'll give you this. Under the Bridge is the only song in the top 10 from Blood Sugar Sex Magic on the Spotify top 10 list that I'm looking at.
Okay.
Public front page.
But
you know how those work. Like sometimes maybe Give It Away has more than the 7th, 8th, or 9th song on this list, but the algorithm dictates that it's not one of the top 10 songs right now.
For sure. I'm really drawing a blank here of what it might be then, because I doubt it's anything off One Hot Minute. I'm guessing it's something off of Californication.
It is Californication, the song itself.
Oh, the song. That's amazing that song has more than Under the Bridge. That's actually quite surprising to me.
Yeah, so then after that is Can't Stop. And then 2 more from Californication. We've got Scar Tissue. No, Other Side and then Scar Tissue.
Oh, okay.
And then Snow. Hey Yo.
Oh, yeah. Well, that one gets a lot of streams because that's a good one that guitarists love to try to figure out how to play. So
yeah,
I think it's got to be a lot of plays of just guitarists playing that over and over and over again, trying to figure out how to play it. But is Roller Coaster on there? Their cover of Roller Coaster?
I wish.
Oh man,
you know,
I like that
if
cover.
If there's any justice in the world, it would be Soul to Squeeze.
Yes,
some of those songs.
What soundtrack is that from? Is that
Coneheads?
Coneheads, that's right. God, I love that song. That song is so good.
Now I just want to look up all the Red Hot Chili Peppers songs and see how many streams they have, but it's too hard.
Yeah.
All right, follow up from last week. You and I talked about Henry Rollins and Ian McKay supposedly doing a quote unquote new record. So why don't you update everybody a little bit on this one?
Yeah, this is hilarious in hindsight, especially. But you know, Henry Rollins posted a social media post and said he and Ian McKay from Fugazi got together and worked on some songs over the weekend, and that they had a label and they were going to put it out, and everybody got really excited. Like, holy cow! Like, you know, Henry has not done any music since Rollins Band. And he has said he doesn't think he'll ever do music again, that he feels like that chapter is closed, that he did everything he needed to do. So it was like really exciting. And obviously a lifelong friendship with Ian. And the thought of what that might even sound like, an Ian McKay songs with Henry Rollins on vocals would be awesome. And so then Henry had to throw the wet blanket on the discussion and said, no. Just to clarify, we didn't perform these songs. We just mixed these songs. So it was an obscure punk band from the either 70s or 80s that had never been released or hadn't been released in a long time. And somehow they got the originals and they went to the label and, you know, mixed it, mastered it, and they're going to put it out as a 4-song, 12-inch EP. So yeah, so we don't even know who the band is. He still didn't say who it is. I don't know if it's, I doubt it's anybody popular, but yeah, so that was kind of a bit of a bummer. It's just funny because like I don't think he did it on purpose, but I mean, when you read his statement, like what other way were you supposed to take it other than there were no hints or clues that.
So the real question that I have for you is, it's pronounced Ian McKay.
Yep.
I've only ever read that name. And so in my mind, I just assumed it was McKay. It's MAC capital KAYE.
McKay.
I'd never heard anybody say that name before. I've only read it in magazines and books and stuff.
Yeah. Well,
it's funny. It's funny how the brain works.
I wonder if the only way I heard it is from Henry's spoken word tours.
Oh.
So if you ever see a Henry Rollins spoken word tour, he tells all kinds of stories and they're great. It is a great time. I could recommend it to anybody. You'll laugh, you'll be grossed out, you'll be confused, he runs the gamut of things, but it's highly, highly entertaining, informative. Henry has such a unique perspective on life. But he always talks about Ian. Ian is in tons of his stories because, again, they've been great friends for a very long time. And the first time I saw him, I remember like he just kept saying Ian. He never mentioned the last name or that it was Ian from Fugazi, but I knew who he was talking about because I was, as a Henry Rollins admirer, I know his backstory. And so I just remember thinking like, how cool must it be to be able to go through life and just tell stories about your buddy Ian, and it's Ian McKay from Fugazi. But I'm sure the second time he said McKay. So
yeah. The other thing that happened since we last talked, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony took place in Los Angeles. A friend of mine actually went, so I had some pictures and videos from the event. Seemed like it was really cool. So the White Stripes, Outkast, Soundgarden, Cyndi Lauper, Bad Company, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker. But I think the interesting thing to you and me was, well, two things, both the White Stripes and the Soundgarden induction. Soundgarden performed with Taylor Momsen from the Pretty Reckless and Brandi Carlile.
And which, by the way, that's one of those in hindsight. It's like, how did I not guess Brandi Carlile? Like, just knowing her friendship with the band and Mike McCready actually
and those pipes, man. That's like how
that
good of
too.
a singer
She can sing it. But Mike McCready actually lives. He's like neighbors next to her. Like they live in some like remote area in the Pacific Northwest, and there's all kinds of stories that like on weekends, like musicians just go out there and they all just get together and just jam and play songs and things like that. And I'm always like, man, it sounds like such a fun time. But Brandi Carlile is deeply into that scene, so it made total sense when I saw her. I was like, oh, that's one I could have guessed.
What did you think of the performances?
The Soundgarden ones.
Yeah.
So did they perform more than one song? The only thing I saw was Black Hole Sun. Was the only thing I saw. Did they perform? That's the only one I saw.
They apparently did Rusty Cage as well. So I'm waiting to.
Okay, so I didn't see that, so I can't comment on that. The Black Hole Sun, it was cool. It was not bad. It was good. It's just, it's the Freddie Mercury problem, right? Like,
yeah,
it's just never going to be the same. Nothing will ever be the same. And it's, we've talked about this, but I know not everybody listens to every episode. A band like Alice in Chains, like Lane Staley, hugely important, but William Duvall does a phenomenal job of filling in. And it's just not the same thing as people trying to do a Chris Cornell part, or like I said, like a Freddie Mercury part. There's just certain people who could never be replicated or imitated.
By the way, tangent here I just randomly saw a video on social media this week of Alice in Chains performing Wood with James Hetfield of Metallica singing the Lane Staley parts.
Oh, no kidding. That's cool.
Like a festival, like Rock Am Ring or one of those things.
Yeah.
And I'm not the biggest Metallica guy in the world, but it was actually really cool. And James Hetfield did the James Hetfield version of all those parts. Yeah. And that guy has amazing range.
For sure. And that's cool. Like Alice in Chains and Metallica, they're great friends. Jerry is very close friends with all those guys in Metallica. I know.
Do you remember the Alice in Chains Unplugged where?
Oh yeah, friends don't let friends get haircuts.
Yeah, friends don't let friends cut their hair or whatever. On the bass guitar, I think
it was Mike Inez's bass. He had written that, and Metallica was in the crowd for that performance.
Yeah, that's because Metallica had just cut all their hair, probably before Load or something.
It was the Load era. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
And there's all kinds of funny little tidbits around. Like that's why
it's funny that you and I both know that.
Yeah. Well, and if you listen to the Unplugged album, at one point, like Lane makes a joke about they're going to a commercial break, and Mike Inez plays the Enter Sandman riff on his bass, like playing it out to the commercial. And all of this is just tongue in cheek, joking around because the Metallica guys were there. So it's a fun memory.
So then the other performance was Nancy Wilson from Heart, accompanied by Toni Cornell, Chris Cornell's daughter, doing Fell on Black Days.
Oh, I need to see if I can find that.
It was a little bit rough, but who cares? It's exactly what it needed to be. Awesome that his daughter was able to do that with a legend in her own right, Nancy Wilson.
Yep.
Somebody who was close with Chris Cornell as well, the Nancy Wilson from Heart. So.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, the White Stripes had two performances, and you had a funny observation when we were looking at the video of Feist and Olivia Rodrigo performing We're Going to Be Friends, and it was so weird. You pointed it out, and then I couldn't stop laughing about it. There was a dude sitting in the crowd or at a table or something strategically placed.
Set the stage of how
I'm going to.
Okay.
So you got Feist and her acoustic guitar and Olivia Rodrigo and her acoustic guitar, and they're at stage level, and beneath them in crowd level or orchestra pit level, there was a guy sitting at a table doing everything he could not to be staring at Olivia Rodrigo's backside. His discipline was epic.
He did a great job. That guy, kudos to that guy. But you could just see it, like the look, like because he's like sitting there, like just looking. It's almost awkward because he's like looking straight ahead when Olivia Rodrigo is right here to his left. Because if he looks up, he's clearly going to be looking like he's looking at her ass. It was so funny. So he's just like staring straight ahead, like,
and he had like half a smile on because he's close to this performance. He's just not allowed to look at it because you don't want to be a creeper.
Yeah, because that would have been memed all over Twitter if he's sitting there like staring at her.
But I think he's just the essence of male discipline.
Yeah, that's right. So kudos to that guy.
So then the other performance was 21 Pilots doing Seven Nation Army, and I know I'm a bigger fan of 21 Pilots than you are. I'm not a huge fan, but I thought they killed it. I thought they were really good.
I didn't see their performance. I only saw the Feist and Olivia Rodrigo one, so I can't comment on theirs. I will say I really enjoyed the Feist and Olivia performance. I thought they did a great job. They stayed relatively true to the song. And again, there's only so much you can do with a White Stripes song anyways, especially that song. But Uh, you know, I, so did I assume Jack White didn't play
He did not, I don't believe.
at
I think he
all?
was just in the audience.
Yeah, when I assume Meg was not there.
Meg did not show up. In the acceptance speech, Jack read a letter that he didn't send to Meg. So he'd been in
Oh,
contact with her. I guess it's just the fear of crowds and whatever social anxiety
yep,
she has that she wasn't
yep,
going to come out of hiding for this. I don't mean
yeah,
to call it hiding. That seems kind of
yeah,
reductive
yeah.
and mean, but you know what I'm saying.
I know what you mean.
I didn't mean
I
it
don't
to be
think.
cruel.
Yeah, this is not a shock. I don't think anybody
No.
expected that she would be there, but I wondered whether Jack would play with other people, or not, because I don't think he really plays White Stripes songs, right? Like
I think he
when
started to.
oh, has he? Okay,
I think he
there
has.
was a
He used
while
to,
where he
when
wasn't
it was the
even
Racking
playing them.
Tours, he was not playing any of them at all for a
Yeah.
long
Okay.
time, but I think he started.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
I mean,
But
it's
yeah,
been
no.
20 years. It's been a long time, so
Yeah. Yeah.
probably makes some
But
sense.
yeah.
All right, the other one, Outkast, they did not perform either. But we had, I think it was Miss Jackson was performed by Doja Cat, and then Tyler the Creator came out and did B.O.B. Bombs Over Baghdad, and
Oh, I need to check
it
that out.
was electric. It was
I
so
need to
cool.
check that out. I like Tyler a lot. I think he's an awesome performer. I always like his
And we're going to
live
talk about him during
performances.
the Grammys
Yeah,
conversation as
yeah.
well.
I always like him live more than on album. Like anytime I mean, going back, like I still remember the first time Odd Future was on. I don't remember which late night show it was anymore. They all kind of run together, but I just remember how like it just seemed so like almost edgy that they had that Odd Future was going to be on there, and Tyler stole the show, of course. And no, so that's cool. I I
Um,
I didn't see any of the Outcast performances. You know I I'm not the biggest Outcast fan.
really?
So yeah, that's usually the reaction I get. People are pretty shocked that I don't
It's
love
been
Outcast, but
bonding group for my teenager, my sophomore, and me, because
yeah.
he really loves rap music. Huge fan
Hmm.
of ASAP Rocky. And then I started playing Outkast, and the appreciation was high from him.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I
It's
I mean,
just
I have tons of respect for them. It's just I don't know. There's like I think I just really didn't. I think I really just didn't like Miss Jackson. And if you don't
really
like that song, it's that especially at that time, it was a rough time to be alive if you didn't love that song because good
everybody loved that song.
lord, that song was everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
and
anywhere. I
it's
mean,
got the level of groove that pretty much anybody can dance to it too.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, you'd go to a wedding, you would go to a sporting event, you would go to the grocery store, you turn on the radio, like it was everywhere. That's one of the most ubiquitous songs ever. Like I
Yeah,
truly was astounding how much that song was literally everywhere.
not
I
as
do like bomb.
ubiquitous
I like bombs
as
over.
Hey Ya, but
Well, that's another one I don't like either. So
oh,
that's
I think Hey Ya is maybe the greatest pop song of all time.
okay. But I like Bombs Over Baghdad. If I was gonna rock with any of those, that's the one I like the most.
There's a at least one podcast that goes over in detail all the things that makes Hey Ya just an incredible song, and
Hmm.
it's like this super peppy, happy song, but then it uses kind of minor chords and minor
Yeah.
changes to make it more emotional and more meaningful in
Mm.
ways that other pop songs just tend not to do.
Yeah. There's something earwormy about it, and I don't like earwormy songs.
Yeah,
I don't know. So
makes you think of Baby Shark too much.
yeah, exactly. Oh, great. Now that's gonna be the song I wake up in the morning. All of a sudden,
Everybody listening to this podcast, the dozens of people listening to this podcast are now
yeah,
hating me.
yeah.
Uh,
But like the worst recent one for me was the Taylor Swift song from her new album.
Ophelia, something or other.
Not Ophelia. This oh, my Opalite.
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 Yeah, you're
Oh my
right.
God. I could not get that out of my head. Like literally, like just would wake up in the morning, first thing, and I'd start singing that chorus in my head. It was just
Yeah.
like, come on. I couldn't get rid of it.
The other thing, not really in the news this week, but what kind of the it band right now is Geese. I was debating with you whether or not we actually talked about this band and their new record on the podcast. I guess we probably did. Their new record's
I feel
called
like we
Getting
had to have
Killed.
mentioned it.
It got a 9 on Pitchfork, Best New Music. It was just all the rage in the critic circles. This doesn't mean it's like a mass appeal type band. And they're goofy.
It's getting there.
They're different though. They're never going to be. They're in that biggest band in the subculture, kind of like Arcade Fire was way back.
Yeah.
What's that band that kind of annoys me with Adrian Lenkar?
Oh, Big Thief.
Big Thief has been that band. Bright Eyes was that band way even further back than Arcade Fire.
Yeah.
These kind of critical darling bands that every weekly arts magazine will know about, but nobody's grandparents will ever know about this band.
Their grandparents won't, but your nieces and nephews. Like
Maybe.
This is huge amongst people in their 20s. This is a band that is very much trending younger than our generation. But I do actually have an appreciation for Getting Killed. Like, I don't love the album. It's not going to be in my top 10 this year or anything like that, but I actually do have an appreciation for it. I think it's a very well done album for what it is.
But they're definitely offbeat. They're not mass appeal. Which leads me to the story that we're going to talk about.
All right.
They've been gaining a lot of kind of viral commentary online. And you and I reject a lot of the people are saying type stories, but in this case, people are actually talking about
people
the cover
do be saying
of You Get What You Give by the New Radicals, because when a band like this, who's offbeat, and you've got Weezer covering Africa by Toto, basically note for note.
Yep.
That's not what this is by Geese with the New Radicals. So should we risk our YouTube by playing a cover? I don't think a cover will set off any alarm bells.
I think it'll be all right.
All right, let's see. I'm going to share up here.
Maybe.
And then we laugh till we cry. You've got the music in you. Don't let go. You got the music in you. One dance left. The world is gonna pull through it. Don't give up. You got a reason to live. Can't forget. You only get what you get. Give it to me now. 4 a.m. We're in a miracle mile. We're flat broke, but
You're muted right now, Craig.
I said I'll stop sharing.
Yeah.
And it gets kind of pitchy and falsetto-y and avant-garde even beyond that. But somebody took a clip that probably took the worst 30 seconds of their cover, and it is just getting torn apart. So what did you think about it?
Oh, I absolutely hate it. I think this cover is atrocious. And I'll get into some of the reasons why. For like, I always appreciate bands putting their own spins on covers. So this is not a sacred, oh, you can't mess with that song. That's not what this take is. My take is about. My take is really more about, though, like, you still have to respect, like, I don't know, the emotional intent of the song, and this just completely throws that away. His vocal delivery of a song that is like meant to have urgency, and the way he draws it out just does not work for me at all. And I, quite frankly, I just don't like how atonal it is. Like, it really it really is a grating sound to my ears. So I am not on board with this. But it's funny that I had not seen people tearing this apart. All I had seen was people praising this, including is it Greg Alexander, the singer of New Radicals? He actually commented on this, and he mentioned that how much he loved it. So he gets the kudos from Greg Alexander. I'm pretty sure it's Greg Alexander. But gets the kudos from him. But for me, this does not work at all.
So I'm with you. I also think it's abysmal, but you know, I want to be a little bit constructive about it. It reminds me of 25 years ago when I used to watch American Idol and some of those shows.
Yeah.
And sometimes those singers would just pick the wrong song. Talented groups, good musicians, but like just a bad fit. And I don't know why they picked this song. I don't know what made them think that they should be doing this song. I don't even have a suggestion for what song they should have done instead. But this one didn't work for me at all.
Yeah.
I think it's really bad, and I think it makes the band look kind of comical.
You almost went Randy Jackson there. That's a no for me, dog.
That's kind of like I was hinting at it, but I didn't want to quote it directly.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know what the people who love so much about it. Like, I
think they're just being defensive of Geese because it's their critical little baby.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I can't believe I'm forgetting the singer's name, because he also puts out solo music too. That's pretty interesting. But he can definitely be atonal even on record. You know, that's kind of their
Cameron Winter.
Yeah. And I kept wanting to say Alex Winter. I'm like, that's not Alex Winter, Cameron Winter. But yeah, I don't know. This one's not a good cover in my opinion. Like, this really sounds like something you would maybe possibly hear on an open mic at, like, you know, where an open mic band is playing.
Let me read some of the best comments on the video on Twitter.
Okay.
No shade, but Geese kind of reminds me of Neutral Milk Hotel if they played songs written by The Fray.
Oh my God. That's incredible. I love that. Holy shit.
That's so funny. Let's see. Horrendous, Dying Animal, Bloody Awful. There were a couple of other really good ones, but Shit from a Butt.
Wow.
And then somebody who's like, I don't get the hype for Geese, and I wish I did.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
And then there's just like utter stands. Just,
yeah.
You know, Geese are generational talent, this, that, the other thing.
Generational talent, but they chose not to display it on that song.
Yeah.
That's the genius.
And then this one makes me laugh, even though it's not that funny. The song is supposed to be fun.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I was getting at. Like, again, like, you don't have to stay true to it, but like, it just feels so weird because it's a like uplifting song, and I don't know, it just didn't work for me trying to do it that way.
Yeah. All right. So next on the list, we'll start with the Grammy nominations, but before we get to all the Grammy nominations, we're going to focus in on Turnstile. Why don't you talk a little bit about Turnstile Grammy season?
Yeah, so Turnstile received 5 Grammy nominations this year, which in and of itself is pretty cool for a hardcore band, of course. But the big thing was they became the first band ever to receive nominations in the same year in rock, alternative, and metal. And I think that's a fitting thing for Turnstile. Like I'm going to be a little bit of the Turnstile are absolutely not a metal band. Like that's crazy to me to have them in the metal category. They're just, it's not like Birds. Birds is a menacing song. It's great. I absolutely love that song to death, but I mean, it's not a metal song, but that's fine. If any band is going to genre hop and receive nominations across all these different categories, of course it's going to be Turnstile. And this does nothing to cool my very hot take that Turnstile is the most important band in the world right now. So
what's really funny to me is that Deftones are up for best rock album, but nothing in best metal performance.
Not metal. I know. I was like, if anything, like put
but
Deftones
one's
in
album
the
and one's performance. So you've got a song versus an album.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the best rock album category: Private Music, Deftones, I Quit, Haim, From Zero, Linkin Park, Never Enough, Turnstile, and Idols by Youngblood. So I think it's very easy to see Deftones or Turnstile winning that one.
It's going to be Youngblood.
You think?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That screams what the Grammys will do.
And then best metal performance, you got Birds by Turnstile, Soft Spine by Spirit Box, Emergence by Sleep Token, Lacrima by Ghost, and Night Terror by Dream Theater.
I want to say Sleep Token will win, but that might be too popular, so they may have to go with Dream Theater to be the Grammys curveball. Like, oh yeah, we're going to give it to Dream Theater.
Well, you can never account for the voter base. You just never know.
Yeah.
And honestly, Soft Spine by Spirit Box is absolutely one of the best metal songs this year. It's really good. That's the one they did on TV. I know I shared that with you. I can't remember, fill in the blank late night show, but they did it on TV.
Yeah.
And it's one of those that Courtney LaPlante is just screaming her head off the entire time. So I felt it was a pretty brave choice to be the one that they did on TV. So I was proud of him. I think that, like, I don't feel cool for liking that record, but I think it's wildly underrated because that band is not considered very cool.
Yeah. For sure.
That Spirit Box record is probably, I think it's better than the Sleep Token record this year, to be honest.
Yeah. A random thought that just popped into my head. I'm going to slightly derail this conversation as I love to do.
That's perfect.
You made the comment about the late night shows, and I had made the same comment earlier. It seems sort of like there used to be like a stark difference between playing Letterman, playing Conan, or playing Leno. And I feel like that difference doesn't exist today. The late night shows all seem kind of nebulous, and maybe that's because we only consume them as clips. Like nobody watches the whole show.
Is Kimmel, because he's got that outside stage.
When they do the outside stage, yeah, that's true. But and like sometimes a few bands have incorporated the Roots when they've been on Fallon, so maybe that might
that's a good
make
point.
make it stand out a little bit. But in general, I don't feel that same distinction, and I'm curious if that's about the personality of the shows or if that's just, again, because now we only consume them as clips and we don't watch the whole show. Whereas it used to be like, especially when I was really young, when the first couple times Pearl Jam was on Letterman, it was probably past my bedtime. I probably had to record the whole episode of Letterman, and then you'd go back and watch, and you'd watch the episode and you'd watch Letterman. But
and
I thought that was
sometimes
kind of
you'd only find out that they were going to be on Letterman after the fact, and you're like,
But
I can't believe I missed it.
But there also did kind of seem to be Letterman bands and Leno bands, and then Conan bands too. Like it seemed like certain types of bands would be on each of
The
those
host
shows.
personalities had a play in it.
Yeah, like I think Pearl Jam, they did a song on Conan. I think after Conan took over the late night, maybe I remember it being a weird thing that they played Conan because they had been so fiercely loyal to just Dave. But but for the most part, like they would only play David Letterman. He was the only one they were going to do.
All right, so let's talk about best alternative music album, because I think this is a fascinating list of artists. You've got Sable Fable by Bon Iver, Songs of a Lost World by The Cure, Don't Tap the Glass by Tyler, the Creator, Moisturizer by Wet Leg, and Ego Death at a Bachelorette Party by Hayley Williams.
Yeah, this is a very eclectic category, which I guess makes sense for alternative. I don't know. I have no idea who's going to win this.
I kind of feel like it's probably Hayley Williams' year, just in general.
It does seem like she's got that momentum going for her right now.
But obviously, you can never count out the old factor in the voter base with The Cure.
Yeah, and I think there's also, Wet Leg have won Grammys before. They've actually won Grammys, so I wouldn't discount them either. I think Wet Leg has. Are you
surprised that Tyler, the Creator, was in that category?
I'm not surprised that he's in that category, but I think it may be hard for him to win it. But I don't know though. Like that could be a thing where you just want to show just how alternative, the category is. I'll show you how alternative we are, kind of thing.
All right, so I'll do album of the year last. We got record of the year. Record of the year is a song. Album of the year is the album. Record of the year, you've got, I'll just list the artists because the songs don't matter to you and me. Bad Bunny, Sabrina Carpenter, Doechii, Billie Eilish, Lady Gaga, Kendrick Lamar with SZA, Chappell Roan, and Rosé and Bruno Mars.
I feel like maybe Sabrina Carpenter and Kendrick Lamar are the only songs I've actually heard on this list.
The Bruno Mars one is a very big song.
Okay, but I know I haven't heard that. I feel like I've had to have heard the Bad Bunny song just in pop culture. Like Bad Bunny is kind of everywhere. I feel the same
way about Chappell Roan, but I can't place the subway. But I'm sure I heard it.
Yeah, but I distinctly know the Kendrick and the Sabrina songs. But I don't think either of them are going to win it. I don't know. I don't know why. I just don't.
It'll probably be Abracadabra by Lady Gaga.
That could be because it's the last one I was thinking of on this list. But
yeah,
I could very much see it being Bad Bunny though too.
Yep. And then album of the year. Bad Bunny again, Justin Bieber with Swag, Sabrina Carpenter, Man's Best Friend, Clips, Pusha T and Malice, Mayhem by Lady Gaga, Kendrick Lamar, Leon Thomas. I don't know Leon Thomas at all, and Tyler the Creator.
I think this will be Sabrina.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Again, it could be Lady Gaga. You never know.
Sure, why not? I
don't really care about the Grammys. I find it interesting to see who gets nominated, but I learned a long time ago that this has more to do with label support and labels lobbying for things. So I do find it interesting that Turnstile was up for so many Grammys, but we also saw billboards all over the country promoting their record. So they really had the backing of the labels this time.
Yeah, I mean, they're on Roadrunner, and Roadrunner does have some influence. So, it's... I think Roadrunner certainly has the resources to make a Grammy push for an artist like Turnstile. So,
which is wild for people as old as us.
Yeah, for sure.
Roadrunner was not... They were kind of the scrappy underdog for us growing up.
They're absolutely massive now. So
yeah. All right, last but not least, we properly buried the lead story. Stereogum did an entire relaunch. They're on a new technology platform, the same one that they use for um,
Defector.
Defector, which is all the former Deadspin folks.
Yep.
And the crux of the article that Scott wrote about was how they've been getting killed by AI. And I'm looking for my I copied the whole article, but we don't rely on those AI riddled platforms for referral traffic. Unfortunately, we still have millions of monthly readers who visit directly, but we need more of you to pay to sustain this operation. Today's relaunch was done with that as its goal. Before I tell you about the new user experience, here's some of our wins since relaunching as an independent publication. We hit new traffic record every year since 2020. We introduced nearly 200 voices to the site, most of whom had never written for us before. We pay all freelancers within 1 week of receiving their invoice. No one is allowed to contribute to Stereogum for free. For the first time, we licensed Stereogum IP for a streaming pilot currently in development with a well-known production company. This doesn't mean it'll get picked up, but hey, you actually wrote that.
Yep.
We produced or partnered on new events in Brooklyn, Los Angeles, Austin, and other cities. And then he jokingly says, we nabbed a key endorsement from Linkin Park.
That's right. That's all that matters.
I Go ahead.
I didn't know if you were done reading, but
I am for now, till I find another bit.
Okay. Well, I'll just say, first of all, the new site looks great, especially on mobile. It looks so much better than the old site did. I am very happy to hear that they upgraded their tech because it was a complaint of mine. And I will embarrassingly admit I was not a paid subscriber. And the reason was because I found the tech clunky when trying to sign up for a for a subscription. So I am now a subscriber, and I'm very happy to support this is my favorite website in the world. I would encourage anybody who likes music to check out this website and pay attention and subscribe if you have the means. But I think they do really important work that nobody else is doing anymore. And while I have long appreciated Pitchfork's role in all of this, like Pitchfork has always been, what's the opposite of like esoteric, but like, because like they're almost like too widespread. Like they're finding like way too obscure of things in every direction, and it's not generally like you have to really pick what you want to consume out of Pitchfork. And I think that's probably true for most fans of music, like just because that's how diversified they are. Whereas Stereogum, I think, is a little bit more focused. Now they do cover every genre, and well, maybe not. Yeah, I mean they'll even talk about country if something interesting is going on in country, but like they're going to talk about rock, they're going to talk about metal, they're going to talk about hardcore, punk, pop. Like lots to talk about pop on there. You're going to find something that you like, and they are really, I mean, Brooklyn Vegan is still out there. Like there's not many sites left that are breaking new artists and really being this sort of gateway for new artists and saying like, hey, we're showing you guys what we think is the quality that you should pay attention to. Like their band to watch feature is amazing. Like how many bands to watch turned out to be really great artists who put out huge influential albums. So I'm a big fan of Stereogum, and I know we'll talk a little bit more about the other aspect of this article, but I just wanted to start out with just pure praise for Stereogum. I'm glad to hear that their traffic is still good, and I hope that this is successful for them in terms of remonetizing the site.
Yeah, the other thing that you get as a member or VIP or whatever the subscriber levels are called is you get access to their Discord, where they share the weekly secret playlist So if you want an easy button for figuring out all the new things that you should listen to, they publish that. That's Chris DeVille publishes that every week on the Discord. The reason why I missed the paragraph is I started reading one paragraph too late. We would not be in business without our community of paying members, but a lot has changed in 5 years, and some new obstacles have made the outlook for web publishers particularly dire. Advertising still accounts for the vast majority of Stereogum's revenue, but starting this year, the so-called media traffic apocalypse caused by Google's pivot to AI search has cut our ad revenue by 70%. Prior to that, Facebook and X's deprioritization of links hurt too, but I can't downplay the brutal impact of AI overview. So I listen to the Verge podcast, and Nilay Patel calls it the death of the web, because if I felt like you and I used to run a sports website, and Twitter and Facebook and social media sites kind of killed that to a large degree also, because everybody would read the tweets about the articles, but nobody would click the articles and go through anymore. The comment section died out. And so a lot of those page views just completely disappeared as people stayed on the platform where they were chatting about things, whether it was Twitter or Facebook or Instagram to a lesser degree, but you get my point. And now the last bastion of traffic was Google. And because the AI summaries sit at the top, it's caused a lot of people to just stay on Google and not click through to the source links. And so summarizing the web is not stealing, but it's reducing ad revenue at all your favorite websites.
So I have a little bit of insight on all this. I work in marketing in my real job. Yeah. And not only that, I also have a lot of experience in building websites. So I understand a lot about this. And I don't know if it was like maybe 3 years ago when we first heard the rumors of Google killing the third-party cookie. And we knew that was going to have a massive impact on advertising. So that was like the first stage and it's important to understand that happened first, because that alone was a seismic shift in how advertising on the web was going to work. And one of the things that it did was it made it really hard for people to do any kind of targeted advertising, because you no longer knew what the consumers were into, right? Like you didn't know what the demographic data was less reliable. The interests of the users on a website was less reliable. It's like a website could no longer package their traffic and say, hey, we fit these key demographics. And then anybody who was aligned with that would pay a premium to advertise on that site. And that got much harder without the third-party cookies. So that was like the first thing that happened that sort of like broke down the foundation. And then out of nowhere comes AI. And I still remember the first time I used ChatGPT. And I told everybody in my office, I said, Google is dead if they don't figure out how to do something with this. They're completely dead. This is going to replace Google if they don't understand this. And so it did become a red alert at Google. They quickly realized we are in big trouble here. And so they scrambled and got their own version of it. And they have now changed what the Google search is. Google search is no longer, there is a little bit of SEO. It can matter for some things. I won't get into the weeds on this. This isn't a marketing podcast, but there's still some reasons to care about your SEO. But the big thing is you now have to consider your large language model optimization. So when you're creating a website, you need to try to understand a way to get the large language models to use your site if somebody is asking a question about whatever your particular field is. And that's become much, much trickier because large language models are not algorithmically driven in the same way the Google search algorithm was. And what's basically happened is now everybody goes and types something in that they want to know. and AI answers that question for you, and you don't click anywhere else. You read the AI summary. Now, that AI summary is pulling from a lot of sources. So, like, if you ask Google a question about geese, like, it very well is likely to use Stereogum as a source, but it's going to answer your question that you had about geese for you. So you don't need to click on to that Stereogum article anymore. And that's where that traffic really hurts. And if you're an advertiser, why do you want to advertise with sites where that is no longer a reliable transactional experience for the user? I think if you have to be so targeted now to know, like, if you're going to advertise on Stereogum, like, you need to have a very specific music use. You can no longer count on the fact that, okay, this user is a music fan and they're also a big sports fan, and they also are really into cooking or whatever it might be. That doesn't exist anymore. And so the only people who are going to advertise with Stereogum have to have a hyper specific music related need and to the sort of niche that Stereogum fills in that music webosphere. So it is a very complicated thing, and we're going through this in my company. We're trying to understand what we need to be doing right now in terms of advertise. Like, how do we want to advertise? We are not taking in advertising revenue, but even in terms of how to spend our advertising revenue has gotten a lot trickier because we don't know what we're really getting when we do any kind of web advertising anymore. So it has been a complete game changer.
Well, and what we've seen is the rise of platforms like Substack. I think everybody kind of tongue-in-cheek calls those newsletters because they show up in your email box, but they're essentially websites. And yeah, they send out emails to let you know there's a new post, but they're all subscription driven. And so I think we're further seeing the segmentation of the world where every creator, every website needs to find their 10,000 biggest fans, and they're going to have to pay to keep the lights on. The media as big business might be going away. At least as we knew it. And
sure.
But the problem is that as ChatGPT and Google and all these other players continue to make that money for themselves or keep those eyeballs for themselves, basically on the backs of the content from the content creators by summarizing it, they're adding some value by summarizing it, I guess, but the source material just gets, at what point does the source material just disappear and we no longer have any relevant people doing the work to create that source material to feed the algorithms? It's like, if AI is just creating its own stuff all the time and nobody's actually writing things down or creating opinions or writing news, then what exactly is it going to feed back to you?
Well, when the AI is making the music, then I guess it's okay for the AI to write about the music as well.
Yeah.
But on a serious note, I mean, that's a very valid and excellent point. And also, if I'm going to be honest, the answer you're going to get to your geese question from AI is not going to be the same quality of answer that you're going to get from a writer at Stereogum, somebody with absolute passion for music and for maybe that band. They're going to answer that question in a more human relatable way than the AI is, because like you said, the AI is essentially just a summary. And like, as much as we call it AI, it's not AI. There's no intelligence whatsoever behind this. In the background, all it is an algorithm that is trying to guess what the appropriate answer to your question should be. And they're very good at it. Don't get me wrong. They are very good at it. They're not great at it, but they're very good at it. They can get you most of the way there. But I think it's just unfortunate that so many people are using it as their sole source. Like, I would much rather have AI give me like the overview and the framework at first, and then I'll dive into the actual source material and do the deep dive to figure out the nuances of what the AI missed. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen very often. That is not the average use case.
Yeah. And so, you and I are supporting Stereogum. We're hoping beyond all things that it survives and thrives. But it's not going to be easy.
I can't imagine my life as a music fan without Stereogum. It will be devastating to me if we ever lose Stereogum. So please, 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 if you're listening and you like music and you can afford it, please consider supporting that website.
But it's also, the model used to be that a news organization would carry certain things that were not profitable, whether it was the classified ads or the sports pages that would drive enough readership to pay for so you could cover the local plays and the local politics that don't drive the page views, don't drive the advertising. So to just cover music is a Herculean effort in this day and age as an independent, specific, I'll call it niche because it is, it's a niche website to some degree. It doesn't cover all the music of the entire world. It's a big push. It's a real hard push.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right, on that uplifting note, maybe one of these days we'll reach out to the Stereogum folks and we'll have them explain their plight a little bit better than we can. It'd be really fun.
Probably a fun conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. And plus, Chris DeVille wrote that book earlier this year about indie rock, and it'd be fun to talk to him about that at some point too. So
yeah.
Anyway, we thank you so much for listening. You can find everything we do at albumofrecord.com, on all the social media platforms, on YouTube. The YouTube audience is excellent. We appreciate you guys very much. The comments come in. It's wonderful to see all the feedback. And yeah, we'll talk to you next time. It's been the Album of Record podcast.